Bringing you the latest news from around the world and here at home. I'm Sandra Ferdinando.
And I'm Bandeen Jai Singha. Very good evening to you. Let's now take a look at your headlines.
President says Samruddhi benefit will not be slashed. MP Anura Kumar Disanayake in Parliament says central bank at risk of losing hold of all financial transactions in the country. Anura Vidanagamage given ministerial portfolio in Uva Provincial Council. Tenuka Vidanagamage appointed joint chairman of Mahayangane Development Committee. UNP group rally against Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. Attorney General's Department responds to allegations made against them at Presidential Commission of Inquiry.
President Maithripala Sirisena says the Samruddhi benefits will not be axed or reduced. The President made this statement while addressing an event held at the Gamudava Playground in Ambalipitia this morning.
The event was to hand over 5,000 land deeds to the farmers in Walawe zone under the national program to offer 100,000 title deeds to Mahaveli settlers.
Close to 1.5 million people received the Samruddhi benefit. Recently, I saw protests in certain areas alleging that the Samruddhi benefit has been slashed. I want to make it clear that as a government, we will not slash or reduce the Samruddhi benefit for any of the beneficiaries. There has been no change to the funds that have been allocated for this. It is becoming quite a notable feature that protests are being staged at times as they have been misled to gain political mileage. There are hundreds and thousands of families which do not receive the Samruddhi benefit. So the government has taken a clear decision to select these people and provide them with this benefit.
The Attorney General's Department has responded to allegation made against them. Zulfiq Farzan reports on Bondgate. We shall take this story in a moment's time, but do stay online. Moving on to more local news. Chief Opposition Whip Anura Kumar Disanayake speaking in Parliament today reiterated that awarding a private company such as Total Pay the right to operate as a digital instruction provider to the national payment platform puts the financial oversight of the central bank on monetary transactions at risk.
Details of a national payment platform first came to light in 2015. The CEO of ICTA later revealed that 3 private companies had been chosen to establish the proposed national payment platform. However, a cabinet paper for such a national platform was submitted in 2016. I have the cabinet paper with me now. A company known as Total Pay had been selected. However, this particular company was incorporated on the 1st of March 2016. On one hand, they say that 3 companies have been chosen in 2015, but one of the selected companies is only incorporated in March 2016. When you take a look at the profile of Total Pay, they claim that they have been awarded the right to operate as a digital instruction provider for the national payment platform by the ICTA. This will mean that a non-banking institute will act as a third party, will have power over financial transactions, and that the central bank's monetary responsibilities will slip into the hands of a private company. This could pave the way for money laundering and threat to the secrecy of individuals engaging in transactions. This information is very important when it comes to making investments. Former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake had informed commercial banks in the country to contact ICTA CEO Mohandan Kanage to inquire into plans on the national payment platform. A cabinet paper submitted by him states that the NPP will function under the regulatory oversight of the central bank. However, a report compiled by a 14-member committee appointed by the CEO of ICTA does not have the same oversight regulations. The central bank governor had informed the then finance minister that the central bank will not have regulatory power over the proposed NPP. This shows that even the cabinet has been misled. Although this suspicious deal has temporarily been stalled due to revelations by the media, the danger is still present because this company claims that it has a right to operate as a digital instruction provider. On what basis was Total Pay given the right to operate as a DIP? Who are the directors of Total Pay? What are the companies that were considered for the same responsibility? How many companies in total were considered for this? Was Lanka Clear considered as a viable party? If not, why? What capability does the selected company have to safeguard user details? What are the agreements signed or conditions agreed on between ICTA and the selected company? The central bank nor the ICTA has entered into any legal agreement with Total Pay. The central bank has not empowered the ICTA to award the right to operate as a digital instruction provider to any company. If some company claims to have such a right, they have no legal right to do so. 8 companies came forward to engage in software testing for the NPP along with ICTA. However, we have been informed by ICTA that at present only 3 companies have come forward. The 3 companies are as follows: Transact Lanka Private Limited, Payment Services Private Limited and Total Pay Private Limited. They have the right to engage in software testing. During the initial phase of planning for the NPP, ICTA entered into a non-disclosure agreement with Lanka Clear. However, Lanka Clear did not come forward to function as a service provider for the NPP. No private company has been given the right to operate the national payment platform. Legal agreements have not been reached with any company. The national payment platform is still in its initial planning stages. Once this concludes, we will take steps to inform Parliament about this. We need to reap the benefits of a digital economy. I need to reiterate to the MP that we need to obtain the recommendations, approvals and supervision of the central bank for this purpose. A case that I filed in the Supreme Court in this regard is being taken up at present. Through this, we called on the authorities not to allow the national payment platform, which comes under the regulatory control of the CBSL, to slip into the hands of Mohundan Kanage or any other private sector racketeer. Everything will be regulated by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank. However, when moving to a digital economy, we need to be able to provide services through mobile phones and computers. We are now creating a method to even obtain bus tickets through the mobile phone. You know, there is something called Easy Cash. The regulation of all this should be done by the central bank.
The central bank bond scam is a complex issue that requires the public's full attention in order for it to be brought to light. The ICTA Total Pay scandal is similar in that it will require the public's complete attention in order that any wrongdoing is exposed and perpetrators brought to justice.
Who is lying now?
The central bank has not empowered the ICTA to award the right to operate as a digital instruction provider to any company. If some company claims to have such a right, they have no legal right to do so.
Even though Deputy Minister Harsha De Silva made this statement in Parliament today, Total Pay Private Limited claims in its own corporate profile that it has been awarded the right to operate as a digital instruction provider to the national payment platform. The document further claims that Total Pay is a DIP and can carry out user-executed transactions by transmitting instructions via the NPP to transfer funds between accounts at different banks. This has been widely accepted by ICTA CEO Mohundan Kanage as well.
Who is lying now?
We are now creating a method to even obtain bus tickets through the mobile phone. You know, there is something called Easy Cash. The regulation of all this should be done by the central bank.
Even though the Deputy Minister made this claim today, the history of the national payment platform is a lot more ambiguous. On the 16th of July 2016, the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, wrote a strongly worded letter highlighting the fact that the report compiled by the 14-member review committee appointed to evaluate the NPP has completely disregarded the regulatory and oversight powers vested with the central bank. In his letter, he notes that the central bank is excluded from the governance role of the NPP as well. This was rectified by the current Finance Minister and State Minister recently.
The Finance Minister and I reached a decision. Whatever payment platform is created, it should come under the regulatory control of the central bank. This is very important.
Who is lying now?
An article published in the Daily Mirror on the 9th of September 2015 details Mohundan Kanage as saying that 12 companies came forward to provide services as DIPs, and of them 3 had been selected. Though his claim was made in September 2015, Total Pay, which was one of the companies that was selected, was incorporated on the 1st of March 2016. The board of directors of Total Pay, that includes Durga Chelaram, Steve Ephraim's, Ishan Niroshan Louis Pereira, Radhakrishnan Senduran and Iswaran Subramaniam, had been chosen as a DIP even before it was incorporated.
Who is lying now?
According to the agreements that were drawn up, Total Pay had also been given the rights to the data that was collected. They also had the right to store this data in centers outside the country. If this went ahead, the masterminds behind this program would have been able to create a much more lasting damage than what was done by the bond scam in just one strike. Just like the bond scam is being investigated, the deal behind Total Pay should be investigated. There needs to be a criminal investigation process because there is a similarity between this and the bond scam. The similarity is that individuals would have been able to earn huge sums of money in a very short period in contravention to the laws of the central bank. They have discovered new technologies and methods to steal public funds. There are laws in the country which punish crimes such as theft of public funds. The problem is that since the lawmakers themselves are involved in theft, they have come up with ways to worm themselves out of the law. Although there is a legal system in place, the government is using its power to grant opportunities for other companies to earn massive amounts of money in an illegal way. This is money which should rightfully go to the people. So first and foremost, the politicians who open these doors must be punished. It is essential that the money that has been stolen is recovered, and we don't think that the government will act on this. That is why the people, civil organizations and media have to create a huge uproar to ensure that these things do not recur.
Minister of Social Empowerment and Welfare S.B. Dissanayake elaborated on the process adopted for Samruddhi benefits.
The number of Samruddhi beneficiaries will not be slashed. The previous government allocated 12 billion rupees in benefits, while this government has allocated 42 billion rupees. We will not reduce the benefits. The list on display is the result of a survey that was conducted. That list contains 85% of the beneficiaries, and the remaining 15% will be made available for the appeals. There is a mistake, and when that is rectified, all of them will be included in the list. There are 1.4 million 25,661 beneficiaries. On the 15th of March 2015, Cabinet decided to carry out the survey. It was done by the Director General of Census and Statistics, experts, university professors and experts from the Central Bank. We called all of them and held talks. They all agreed to implement the multi-dimension poverty survey system, which is an advanced and complex system. Following this, we will introduce the list of Samruddhi beneficiaries in December. This will see an increase in the number of Samruddhi beneficiaries. If there is an issue that can be put forward as an appeal to the special committee comprising of personnel from the Ministry and the Department of Samruddhi Development. You accept that some people will be left out. However, they can make an appeal. Therefore, if the Ministry has appointed a committee, that must be made public. You elaborated the formula used for this purpose today. You must explain it to us public representatives. That is important. I will make available a special document for you. The appointment of the Special Ministerial Committee will be made public in a newspaper advertisement published in all languages. I need to know if the interest rate of loans given to the beneficiaries has been increased to 14% under this present situation. In the recent past, interest-free loans were given in addition to the loans with 2% interest. It must be noted that all this is not government funds. This is the money of the poor people. Therefore, we are making a comparison with the daily interest rate of 5% and monthly interest of 20%. We are competing with the lenders. In the Gampaha district, if there is a child who has failed the ordinary level examination, that will not be considered as a qualification for the Samruddhi benefits. I request the Minister, do not slash the benefits. We have created a mess. We should not make it worse. You have not understood the issue. He has not understood the People's Commune and Samuel Don. I shall explain this. The Samruddhi will not be slashed simply because one has passed the ordinary level and advanced level examinations. The Samruddhi coordinators have prepared the lists, and the former chairman of Pradeshia Sabhas are preparing to cut some names. The Samruddhi coordinators will bring the villages together and demonstrate. Some of the coordinators will have to overlook a number of areas. Sometimes the lists are not prepared according to the assessment. Such issues have arisen.
Continuing in local news, the Attorney General's Department has responded to allegations made against them. Zulfiq Farzan reports on Bondgate.
Additional Solicitor General Yasantha Kodagoda informed the Commission today that quote-unquote illiterate people are making false allegations against the Ages Department, that 8,600 pages worth of extracted material from a mobile phone was investigated by the Ages Department and the officers assisting the investigation within a matter of 48 hours. Yasantha Kodagoda informed the Commission that what actually happened was that they extracted 8,600 pages worth of material from the mobile phone, and then it was downloaded into a PDF format document which cannot be edited, and then they used keywords to search through these 8,600 pages for the respective information that they assumed was important, and thereafter put those material before a witness. Yasantha Kodagoda said that the literate would understand this process. Additional Solicitor General Yasantha Kodagoda reiterated that only literate individuals would understand the extraction process adopted by the Ages Department and the officers assisting the Commission. Counsel for Arjuna Mahendran asked Additional Solicitor General Yasantha Kodagoda whether this statement was referred to him. The Additional Solicitor General said he was responding to a statement made against the AG's team elsewhere. Yasantha Kodagoda informed the Commission that the CID is following the best international practices to extract material from communication devices. He said material extracted from a mobile phone will be converted into the PDF format for inspection. However, in relation to a computer, the investigating officers will make a clone of the hard drive which will include any deleted material as well. Copies of the cloned hard drive will only be given to the relevant counsels looking after the interest of their clients. This morning, Deputy Solicitor General Milinda Gunathilaka informed the Commission of discrepancies in documents provided by Sri Lanka Trading Company Private Limited. The discrepancies relate to the company's structure. The documents relate to two firms by the names of Perpetual Capital Private Limited and Perpetual Capital Holdings Private Limited. According to the information, Perpetual Capital Holdings Private Limited is the holding company of all other companies in the Perpetual Group. However, the sole shareholder of Perpetual Capital Holdings Private Limited is Perpetual Capital Private Limited, which is non-operative. According to the document, Perpetual Capital Private Limited incorporated in 2015, whereas Perpetual Capital Holdings Private Limited was incorporated in 2010. It was highlighted there was a mistake in the particulars provided. The Ages Department said this created a difficulty in tracking who owns who, despite Jeffrey Joseph Aloysius and Arjun Joseph Aloysius being listed as owners of these companies. The Commission instructed the Ages Department to seek assistance to resolve this issue. In his evidence, CEO of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, Kasun Palisena, said PTL did not manipulate the yield rates for longer tenure bonds. The Presidential Commission was not pleased with the manner in which PTL's attorney presented documents highlighting there was no uniformity. The Commission informed the Council he was well aware that his client will have to give evidence weeks ago and added that it does not want to be burdened with a mountain of files.
Several UNP backbenchers in Parliament raised issues concerning the Presidential Commission of Inquiry.
It was Ajit Niwad Cabral who gave authorization to Perpetual Treasuries. His sister served as director at this company. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry is questioning people one by one. So why isn't the Commission summoning Ajit Niwad Cabral, who authorized Perpetual Treasuries to function, and his sister who served as a director there? At the time when bond transactions were carried out with this company, the former president was the finance minister. So if the Presidential Commission is functioning in a fair manner, then Mahinda Rajapaksa should also be summoned. I would like to ask the gentleman at the Attorney General's Department about the signature of the former Defence Secretary, which has not been verified for nearly 2 years now. There is a stand of files on incidents which took place 2 years ago, which have stacked up at the Attorney General's Department. We recommend that all of these matters be investigated. Recruit graduates as consultant officers to go through all of these files if needed. Now regarding former Minister Basel's house in Malvana, he is saying it is not his, but his wife is boiling milk and taking part in other rituals there. No investigations are being conducted on this matter. Ravi Karunanayake was summoned to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry based on a statement given by an unidentified woman. In some of the statements which were given at this commission, the name of Shiromi Wickramasinghe also came up. This company was given the license to function when she was a director and during the tenure of Ajit Niwad Cabral. The thieves here do not have to panic. I am talking about perpetual treasuries. We ask the Presidential Commission to summon and question Ajit Niwad Cabral and the former director of this company, Shiromi Wickramasinghe.
UNP MPs have commented against Justice Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa.
It appears that no one from Hambantota looted $500 million. We request for the President to look into that. A presidential commission must be appointed for that. Yesterday we met with the leader and informed him the need of new special high courts. New laws do not have to be formulated for that. We even urge the Minister of Justice as well. He makes various statements. We have issues with his association with the Rajapaksas. The group of MPs and the working committee will make decisions on that. If you are playing games, you will not survive for long in this. Under this good governance, if Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa is delaying the investigations or expediting the investigations, he is wrong. The judiciary must be independent. The ministers and Prime Minister must not meddle with the judiciary.
Kabir Hashim Mahathya api dakka.
Yesterday, Kabir Hashim was speaking in Parliament at a pace like a demon that just woke up. It has taken people like Kabir Hashim almost 2.5 years to speak about the waste, corruption, fraud, intimidation, assassinations, abductions, assaults that took place during the rule of Mahinda Rajapaksa. It took him 2 long years to say that the investigations have come to a standstill and reports have been stalled. It's like he just woke up after a nap. Should they be telling these matters to us? There are ministers who are lamenting. With the resignation of Ravi Karunanayake, the powerful people in the United National Party are lamenting and wailing that nothing is taking place. Are we at fault? Are you telling these things to the people and the media of this country? We ask Kabir Hashim, under who is the ministry and department where the investigations have been stalled at? Who is in charge of the Ministry of Justice? Who overlooks the Attorney General's department? Who is in charge of the Ministry of Law and Order? Who overlooks the FCID? These are ministries and institutions that are controlled by the powerful UNP ministers. If the investigations are not taking place from those institutions, if the AG's department is not releasing reports, if these are being stalled for 2.5 years, who needs to be held accountable? There is no point in telling it to the people of the country. Kabir Hashim must tell it to the leader of the United National Party.
Sri Lanka Free Against Corruption, the island-wide anti-corruption movement launched by Newsfirst, continued today.
The campaign commenced today, centering the Mathura and Kurunegala districts. The team in Mathura commenced their campaign from the Mathura boat tree.
The rogues of the past committed the massive thefts. Their theft that commenced from helping Hambantota went on until their term ended. This country was destroyed. Those who were elected are doing the same. So the rogue of the past and the present must be driven out. We wanted the rogues to be arrested and investigated, but nothing is taking place. The people are burdened. The rogues must be prosecuted. The group that claims to be correct in the country is harassing the people. Justice must be served to the people and the rogues should be driven out. That situation must be created in Parliament as well.
The team toured the Mathura main bus stand, the suburbs and other areas to raise awareness among the masses on this initiative against corruption.
The rogues must be driven out. We need a people's governance structure. The destruction caused to the country must be stopped. The rogue governance must be rooted out.
This evening, the team visited Nupevela and Valigama. The team in Kurunegala commenced the campaign from Galgamua and proceeded to Andravava, Mennorua, Migalava and other villages.
Around 4 to 5 people with chronic kidney disease died in this village. We cannot drink well water because the water is brackish. What is happening? I voted for the government, but none of our expectations have been met. If they achieve something by committing theft, that must be returned. Thereafter, they may be prosecuted and punished. This was not the situation in the 70s. Corruption is rising.
Welcome back to the news. Shamir Rasuldeen, General Manager of Jones Tea, previous Director of English News, has been accepted to the 2017 Class of Asia 21 Young Leaders Initiative.
Asia 21 aims to build a network of young leaders across the Asia-Pacific as a way to promote mutual understanding and effective collaboration among the next generation's most important and influential leaders. Shamir Rasuldeen, a CNN Fellow, Dag Hammarskjöld Fellow and an international award-winning journalist, is now part of a global movement which is active in more than 30 nations. Asia 21 recognizes individuals who are leading figures in media, politics, business and the non-profit sector. The Asia 21 Young Leaders Summit for the year